2024. Good morning once again. This is your morning ride.
I was expecting you to actually, send a shout out to Mele Kiari, the CEO of NNPC Limited yesterday, which you did not do. Anyway, happy birthday in advance or in arrears.
Is he giving me a cake? If he isn't, then
it's his birthday, not yours, actually.
Well, in Nigeria, right, it's the celebrant that spends money. In other parts of the world, the celebrant and the others spend money.
Sorry.
But in Nigeria, the celebrant spends money. That's what he's supposed to do. Okay. I'm not making as much as he is, but anyway, happy belated birthday to him. Anyway, we've got a lot of headlines to check out. We'll be joined by Rufai Oseni in just a moment, and we'll check out all the big stories, trying to look at how they affect you as a Nigerian and us as a country. We'll get to it in just a moment, but let's check out a couple of headlines.
Okay, talking about the headlines for today, we'll be flipping through the pages of some papers, Daily Trust, The Punch, The Guardian as well. But let's take this from The Punch newspaper, as this is the lead story for today, and the masthead, which says Tinubu orders 2 trillion naira poverty relief funds probe. Edu faces EFCC today. Tinubu orders 2 trillion naira poverty relief funds probe. Edu faces EFCC today. And of course, talking about the details on that particular headlines, of course, it clearly states President Bola Tinubu has ordered the EFCC to launch a full-blown investigation into the finances of the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation. Tinubu handed down the directive in a statement on Monday by his special advisor on media and publicity, Ajuri Ngelale, who also announced the suspension of the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation, Betta Edu, over the 585 million naira scandal in the ministry. And of course, the statement was titled, President Tinubu suspends Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation from office. And her suspension was happening as her predecessor, Sadia Umar Farouk, was grilled for about 12 hours by the EFCC detectives over the ongoing probe into the 37.1 billion naira allegedly laundered during a tenure in office through a contractor known by the name James Okwete. So looking at this particular development right now in the headlines, and of course we all know that I saw a couple of hashtags on social media. On X I saw Edugate, and so many hashtags.
Nigerians are so colorful,
springing
it's
up
crazy.
Since this particular development became public, especially knowing that this was actually even made public in a way by the Accountant General of the Federation. But looking at what has transpired so far, especially in the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, a lot of questions have been raised and asked by Nigerians. And Nigerians are wondering that it seems like the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs is now a cash cow. All you have to do is just get in there, make your own box, and go away. Because
it's not the only ministry that is the cash cow of Nigeria.
It's shocking at the moment, knowing that this is now becoming a trend, knowing that Sadia Umar Farouk, who was Edu's predecessor, yesterday was also grilled by the EFCC. And for those who actually followed the development yesterday, we saw Ajuri Ngelale also announced the suspension of Betta Edu.
Is it possible that I'm looking at it from this angle, right? You're having a president whose legitimacy was questioned for a while, a really, really, really long while. I mean, it was keenly contested. A lot of people were asking questions about it. So is it possible that he wouldn't want to be seen pandering to trying to sort of look at play party politics at this point in time? So maybe because of that, he's trying to be as firm and as assertive as possible.
Anyway, as much as we know that the president is trying to be firm and assertive on this particular matter, some have actually said it's because of the outcry by Nigerians that the president have decided to take this decision.
This isn't the first time Nigerians are crying out for justice for whatever reason.
When this became public, at first, a lot of Nigerians expected that the president would have handed down the suspension almost immediately, just as we saw the national coordinator of the NSIPA, that's the National Social Intervention Program Agency. We saw, I think her name is Alima. She was also immediately suspended, when this happened with the whole controversy around that agency. So Nigerians expected that with better ado, this would have been done a long time ago by the presidency. Immediately the news broke that, there is a scandal going on of over 580 million being paid into an individual account, which is even against the civil service, rules again. So, but the president have decided to do this. Some are saying, no time is too late for the president to do this. He have suspended her. Let's see what becomes of all of this. At
this point, it's quite different from what his predecessor did when they were having issues of people around him. With the past administration, it was very, very pertinent in that administration to have issues being raised, corruption issues being raised against some individuals, and the president would stay silent. Especially during the Buhari's administration, he would insistently say stay silent.
I think it was during the Buhari's administration we heard Honorable Minister off your mic. Until today, no one is saying anything about it.
Anyway, we try to contact Mr. Rufai so we can
get on this.
Okay, the conversation. Yes.
Hopefully we get through to Rufai Oseni, who will be joining us in a bit. But what we'll try to get across to him, we'll still get to talk about this. You mentioned
headlines.
But you mentioned something about the past administration. As much as we know that the administration of former President Buhari is totally different from what pertains right now with Tinubu. But some have actually said it's good that President Tinubu, who did not even come on the mantra of corruption, just as we saw during the Buhari's era, where it was all about corruption here and there. He have actually stamped his foot on the ground that anything that will dent the image of his administration is going to address it. And of course, it's a good one that he has decided to suspend pending the outcome of the investigation and interrogation by the EFCC.
One thing that Nigerians would always commend the president before Goodluck Jonathan. His name is eluding me. Malam Nasir. Pardon me.
That's the late Umar Musa Yar'Adua.
Yes.
He was the one that handed over.
He's the one. When he came on board, he said, the elections that brought me on were fraught with corruption and all that, irregularities, and he admitted that, and a lot of Nigerians commended him for that. But we didn't see that play out with this administration. We're seeing, it's our mandate.
So were you expecting the president to make a statement, that the election that brought him...
What happened to Umar Musa Yar'Adua? What happened to him?
The truth is, for Umar Musa Yar'Adua, it was a point of admittance. He admitted, this administration will not admit that, there were a form of irregularities. But whether you like it or not, let me not pray for this administration. Nigerian electoral system have always been marred by irregularities, right from a first democratic election that brought in, the former president Olusegun Obasanjo. So it's something, it's a norm. It has become normal
every time I hear this
Nigerians.
argument, it irks me in a way, because we're at a level where corruption should not even be. Election irregularities shouldn't even be a thing anymore. Nigeria should we're at that level in the world, not just Nigeria. Everyone everywhere is trying to level up. Why is it that we're trying as much as we can to remain where we are?
I remember yesterday Rufai made a statement, it's about time Nigeria starts having strong institutions rather than strong personalities. What we've seen in the country, we've actually developed and built strong people rather than strong institutions, and until our institutions get stronger or become stronger, we'll always be seeing such problems and challenges. And that's why we hope that when it comes to election matter, although that's not the subject for today or this morning on the headlines, we'll strengthen all our institution, whether it's financial institution, whether it's electoral institution, whether it's whatever institution, health institutions in the country.
Well, we're hoping that this particular administration will do as much as they can to strengthen the institutions, like
Hopefully.
you say.
Hopefully.
Looking at another individual who also has been, in the news lately, we're talking about Emefiele. Now, the court stops Emefiele's rearrest. EFCC rejects 100 million naira fine. Court stops Emefiele's rearrest. EFCC rejects 100 million naira fine. The Federal Capital Territory High Court in Abuja has declared the prolonged detention of the former governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele, without trial as a flagrant violation of his fundamental rights. Now, the court slammed a total of 100 million naira fine against the federal government and the EFCC and barred them from rearresting or detaining the ex-CBN afresh without a valid court order. But the EFCC expressed its dissatisfaction with the judgment, vowing to go on appeal. The judgment was given in a fundamental human rights suit filed by the former CBN governor following his prolonged detention in the custody of the Department of State Services. Now, newsmen have reported that the ex-CBN chairman was arrested on June 10th, shortly after his suspension by the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, immediately after resuming office, right? Though he was taken to the Federal High Court in Lagos, he was arraigned on illegal firearm charges and granted bail and all of that. We saw all that play out. Now we're seeing another drama by the federal government and the EFCC to rearrest Godwin Emefiele, even though they have gone ahead to say the court had given them 100 million naira fine for holding Emefiele.
Okay, looking at the drama going on right now with, I've seen a couple of people, now Nigerians don't even call him Emefiele anymore. They've shortened his name to Mephi. I don't know what it is with Nigerians with glamorizing people's names. But that being said, that's on a lighter note. But the issue with Godwin Emefiele has lingered for too long. We saw the drama that ensued just before he was even taken to court. We saw him being in detention for over 5 months. Yes. And I think Emefiele's case started, he was after the announcement of his suspension by President Bola Tinubu. We saw him taken in for questioning, and of course he was remanded for about 5 months. Some said without trial. And because of the outcry of so many people, we actually saw the DSS put a charge of possession of illegal firearms on him, and later it was reviewed. The firearm charge was dropped. And we saw another case. Some Nigerians were saying that's a way of playing delay tactics by the agency of the government just to hold him down, since they have been outcry that charge him to court first, and then if the court gives you an order to remand him,
exactly.
Yes, you can remand him and hold him in custody. But the court hasn't given you an order to remand him for that long. He's still being held in custody. That's why we saw the firearm case which they dropped. And I don't know if you saw the statement by Emefiele's lawyer when he was actually taken to court on based on possession of illegal firearms. His lawyer said, if you see the gun Emefiele is being charged for, is the Kpakpo, in his own words, the Kpakpo gun that is almost like hunter gun, but I have not seen the gun. I don't know how true that is. That was the lawyer saying that. But this is, in a way, a lot of people expected this to happen, that Emefiele was going to file a suit against the agency of government,
all right,
for holding him for that long.
We have Mr. Rufai on the phone. Good morning.
Morning, Jesse. How are you? I thought you guys were off.
Pardon. The network is crazy this morning. I've been trying to reach you.
Okay, let's go ahead.
Yes. Good morning, Mr. Rufai. We have the case of Tinubu ordering a 2 trillion naira poverty relief funds probe on Better Edu facing EFCC today. I mean, we've seen the story play out a little bit, and I'm wondering, what exactly do you think about it?
I think President Tinubu's government reeks of corruption. In as much as I am happy about development that we're finally told Better to step aside while the investigation goes on, I think it's a reflection of the corruption in his administration. I think he needs to holistically investigate and have forensic audit of all the ministries and contract issued since he got out there, because there might be more high-scale corruption that we don't know about. Furthermore, I think also the Minister of the Interior has a lot of explanation to do. He was on TV trying to explain that he's no longer a director in one of the companies that Meta gave a contract to. But the question is he still a shareholder? So if he's still a shareholder, he did put his shares in trust. So those are the questions he needs to answer. And if it's found conflict, the full court of the law has to take effect. So that's the contagion we're having. And this is going to reach across boards. And the right thing has to be done. Because the government can't be saying people should, sacrifice for the nation. And our ministers are now ready to sacrifice, issuing out frivolous contracts and all sorts of things are happening. We should do better as a nation.
Rufai, some people have been arguing about the fact that would she have been so brazen as to do something that is so against the rules of the civil service? Would she have been so brazen to give a directive, something that brazen, to go ahead without even trying to cover her steps and, just trying to cover up that particular crime, right? Some people are arguing that she couldn't have done it alone.
So I think it's a reflection of the lawlessness that goes on in our system. Because the question is, Better is not a spring chicken in the civil service. Better used to be a commissioner before. I knew Better when she was a commissioner. So it's not that she just started or she became a spring chicken in the civil service. She has gone through the road, so she knows how procurements are done. So all that argument does not hold water. And please, let us do what is right at all times. And it's a reflection. So who are even those who protect her? Who did that? Anyway, also the general has come out to say that they did step her. They said they were not going to touch, something. But we need to do better. We need to do better. And that's just the reflection of what we're not happy about.
Okay, Rufai, quickly, you made a remark during your opening, statement that Tinubu's administration is wrought with corruption, and also looking at the statement by Ajurin Gelali yesterday announcing the suspension of Beta Edu. Is this not a way of the administration trying to prove to Nigerians that even though not only you feel this way, there are a lot of Nigerians that have similar opinion as well of this administration? Is this a way of the administration's at least stepping his feet down, putting his foot down and telling Nigerians that even though you feel this way about us, but we are doing all we can to ensure that this narrative is being swept off?
So like I said before, some kudos but no kudos. So I would say no kudos. If we're right thinking country the first place, once that standard broke, what better should we want to register ourselves in the first place? So that it can be fully set. But you waited. But you would try to beat President Tinubu. But what kudos that happen? Why did no kudos? That's happening happen. That was a very bullish corruption. Nobody has to do corruption. You get that money sent to a particular company, then you get your receipt. But in this case, you are sending money directly to certain account. Not even a public account. But after happening in the civil time, that's for them no kudos also. Want them to disregard for procedures.
Okay, quickly let's move on to another headline as well, making the rounds this morning, and it has to do with the suspended or the former governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, talking about Godwin Emefiele. And I lightly told Gesiere this morning that Nigerians always have a way of giving public officials nicknames. Now they don't call him Emefiele anymore, they call him Mephi. But that being said, let's talk about his case right now with the EFCC. We saw the headline where courts actually stops Emefiele's rearrest, and the EFCC have actually rejected the 100 million naira fine, slammed on them. Of course, we saw the FCTI court in Abuja declaring the prolonged detention of Emefiele without trial as a flagrant violation of his fundamental rights. And of course, 100 million naira fine was slammed on the federal government as well as the EFCC. And we also saw the barring of these agencies of the government from rearresting or detaining the ex-CBN governor. without a valid court order. So, looking at this so far, it has. Go ahead, please.
Because I need to go now, I think it's a reflection of the lawlessness that goes on. I'm happy about this court case. I mean, you're able to prove to the EFCC that you do not violate court orders. See, prior to the EFCC arresting him eventually, a court in Lagos told him to be released on bail. Then the DSS first violated by arresting him eventually and putting him. You remember the squabble in Lagos? How the DSF and the prison facility fought, and they fought each other. When that happened, then the IFCC picked him up and arrested him at variance with that initial court order that he should be released on bail. Even when they told him to protect his bail, there were copious pictures of EFCC officials still waiting in front of the deputy to rearrest him. And that's why I linked that on his bail for a while. You can't keep arresting those sorts of things that everybody must respect the law. If you are following the law, let it full out of the law, take it. That's just all we want to see. We keep saying all of this, but we don't have to. When it happens to you, you will do it to others of people.
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yes. Go ahead.
Now
please.
we can hear you. Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now. We can hear you now.
So much for having me.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a good day.
Okay. And that was Rufai Oseni joining us this morning on the front page review, talking about the development with the EFCC and Emefiele, where the federal government have been slammed a 100 million naira fine, and of course we talked about Beta Edu, where the EFCC might be grilling or will be grilling
today.
her today, and of course she'll be answering to
something that I liked. Like that sort of made me a little bit excited was the fact that she was prevented from seeing the president just after her suspension.
Did you see the video? Did you see the video online? Did you see it? I don't know how Nigerians always get access to some of these videos. I saw the video. It was quite embarrassing.
Yes.
Seriously, quite embarrassing for a minister.
At this point in time, I shouldn't be laughing because it's not a thing of joy, but it is a thing of joy for me in the sense that when someone does wrong, you should be shamed. We should not make corruption, we should not make theft a big deal. We shouldn't make it something that is worshipped or praised.
Anyway, we're not saying she stole yet, or the investigation is still on.
We're not saying exactly.
Before people will misconstrue our statement and turn it around.
Until the court, she's innocent until proven guilty. But once someone is seen in this particular thing, the court should take its course. Let the law take its course.
Okay, that being said, we move on to more headlines. But let's pay some bills first. We'll be right back.
Keep it locked.
Talk. Announce the result. You should have the CTC waiting. Keep talking.
If you want to tax people, you must provide them service.
Don't stop talking.
If anybody is telling that I'm a mole, that person is just being mischievous.
Hey, it's your right to talk.
We are voice of the people.
Let's talk.
We have been serving you hot and fresh content on radio, and you have been loving it. Now we're taking it further. Catch us live on YouTube at BOP TV for all the juicy content you can't resist. Talk shows, exclusive interviews, news, lifestyle, and more. It's all about you. BOP TV, show up, speak up.
Are you traveling to Lagos and desire a perfect getaway? Look no further than the luxurious accommodations at Airport Golden Tulip Hotel, number 42 Murtala Mohammed International Road, Lagos.
Relax and unwind in our beautiful appointed rooms, featuring all the amenities you need for a comfortable stay.
Now, whether you are traveling for business or pleasure, our attentive staff is here to ensure that your every need is met. We also offer complimentary pickup and drop from the Lagos Airport.
Why not take advantage of our state-of-the-art fitness center, outdoor pool, and enjoy a delicious meal at our on-site restaurant?
With stunning views, world-class service, and a prime location, Airport Golden Tulip Hotel is the perfect choice for your next vacation or business trip.
So why wait? Book your stay today and experience the ultimate in comfort and luxury at Airport Golden Tulip Hotel.
For bookings and reservations, please call 0815-8003-333 or 0815-7003-333. You can visit our website at airportgoldentuliphotel.com.
Airport Golden Tulip Hotel, where luxury meets comfort.
Believe me.
Are you aware that Iruka Online Limited installed and designed a 100,000 capacity church building? Oh yeah! We are the sole distributors of global leading brands all over the world, such as Wafday Line Array, speakers and digital amplifiers, Preseno's digital mixers and studio equipment, Coswell workstations and keyboards, Fender guitars, Mapex drums, Ashdown bass combos, just to mention but a few. We offer flexible payment plan handled by our financial department with 24/7 customer care support system. You can visit our website on www.iruka.com to avoid buying fake products. You can also visit our showroom at number 36 Lagos International Airport Road beside Golden Tulip Hotel. Iruka, never settle for less.
The award-winning pizza in the US is now here in Nigeria. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Romeo, the pizza champions, and Coldberry ice cream. Delight in every school. Visit any of our outlets and feel the rich taste from the pizza champions and Coldberry ice cream at number 4, Odomosho Street, Area 8, Gariki, Abuja, or 3rd Avenue, Gwarinpa, Abuja, or Federal Housing Estate, Phase 2, Lube, Abuja. Call 0908-831-5906 or 0908-831-5908 or 0909-238-9861. Check us out on Instagram and Twitter at rumourspizza.ng. Website www.rumourspizza.ng. Follow you, the pizza champions.
News.
Breaking news on VOP 96.1 FM.
Sports. Business.
The exchange rate will begin to move towards purchasing power parity value.
Health.
Help the patient as much as you can.
Politics.
Everybody knew that I was just managing.
I withdraw that statement.
Each day you open television,
Let's be poor. Breathe. Security.
We're making some arrests already, and we can assure Nigerians that we are on top of the game.
And your voice.
But really they are so much, but the story will change.
Talk of lights, talk of good roads, talk of some other things.
Bad roads. We should try and do something to it.
The Morning Ride. Weekdays from 6 a.m. Voice of the people. Now you have a voice.
This is not just another radio on your dial. This is
Voice of the People, 96.1 FM, Abuja.
This is Frontpage Review. Weekdays at 7:30. Now you have a voice.
You're welcome back. This is still the front page review on Voice of the People 96.1. My name is Simeon Sunday, and of course, she is Gesiere Agua. I call her my G. She's not my G, according to
I like it. But hey, did you know we're on YouTube? We're streaming live on YouTube. You can check us out. It is at VOP 961. VOP 961. We're streaming live on YouTube. You could check us out. And then if you want to join the conversation, let's talk about what exactly is happening in our country. All you have to do is call the studio lines 0700 010 961 961. I'll take that again, 0700 010 961 961. We're talking headlines this morning, and we're moving on to other states right now.
And talking about other states, let's talk about the drama playing out in Ondo State. At the moment, we know that recently the state lost, its number one man. Talking about the late Rotimi Akeredolu. But despite the state still being in mourning, it seems like certain individuals are still trying to foment trouble. They are lighting fire under the deputy governor, who is now the acting governor. Talking about the headline says a governorship aspirant sponsoring certificate forgery claim against Ayedatiwa. This is according to his media aide. Governorship aspirant sponsoring certificate forgery claim against Ayedatiwa. The Ondo State Governor, Mr. Lucky Ayedatiwa, on Monday debunked the report that he was involved in the certificate forgery scandal, describing the report as the handiwork of some of his political detractors. The chief press secretary to the governor, Mr. Ebenezer Adenio, in a statement said the report was false and a ploy to distract the new governor. According to him, an unnamed governorship aspirant is behind the forgery claim, and Ayedatiwa is less than 2 weeks in office as governor. He was sworn in on the 27th of December 2023 following the demise of his principal, Governor Rotimi Akeredolu, who lost his protracted battle against prostate cancer. And before Akeredolu's death, Ayedatiwa was the acting governor and had battled an impeachment plot launched against him by the State House of Assembly, believed to be loyal to Akeredolu. So now, seeing this, and even the ascension of Ayedatiwa to power, seen some of Akeredolu's supporters and strong loyalists resign the appointment. And looking at what is playing out, the battle with Ayedatiwa is not something that started now. It was on while he was away. Remember when he started the process of his treatment in Germany at the time. He left the country, and of course Ayedatiwa was the acting governor at the time. And we saw the State House of Assembly of Ondo State, some members even stoked the flame of impeachment plans against him. And we saw the back and forth that happened in Ondo State at this time. And I remember the governor, the deputy governor, who is now the governor now, stating that they are trying to make, especially loyalists of the governor, they're trying to make the state ungovernable for him at the time. But it's now concrete. He's now the governor of Ondo State, whether they like it or not. But it seems like now that some of the loyalists of Akeredolu, some of them resigned their appointment, some of them cannot do anything because he's now the governor. But that being said, individuals still within the government of Ayedatiwa are still stoking flames of if they are not bringing up claims of him purchasing cars. I remember the other time they said he withdrew money from the coffers of Ondo State to buy himself bulletproof car. At the time. Now it's a case of certificate forgery against him.
This issue of loyalists resigning, I'm of the opinion that it's looking like, at this point in time, do politicians actually, are they so loyal that they would resign from a position of power, right? It doesn't seem to make a lot of sense at this point in time. To me, it seems like there's more to the story than meets the eye. It just seems, because how many politicians do you see resigning? We have politicians who have been fingered in one criminal case or the other, one misappropriation issue or the other, and they still don't resign. And then because of loyalty to some politician, they're not they're now resigning.
Okay, let me paint the scenario so you get to understand the possibility of why these individuals resigned their appointments. They were appointed by Akeredolu when he was the governor, when he was here with us, and of course they were loyal to him. And we all know that it has become the position of the deputy governor has become almost ceremonial in this climb. They are being given little or no responsibility to handle with the governor, usurping even the responsibilities of the deputy governor. So with Ayedatiwa ascending to the position of governor now, he's now the one running the show. He's now the showman in Ondo State. And this means that those who were pushing for his impeachment, those who were stoking the flames of making the state very hot for him, now know that they cannot do anything. They started the impeachment process before believing that with time Akeredolu was going to come back, take power, and of course they can knock him out. But now he's the governor, as life and fate will have it. So it is just not surprising that those who were strong supporters of Akeredolu will resign the appointment, knowing that now that Ayedatiwa is there, it's a case of you do anyhow, you get fired. so let's be safe. Let's just resign our appointment and possibly push our support behind another candidate for the next election, which Ayedatiwa is now suspecting that
that's what's trying to
the
play
governorship
out.
aspirant is the one who's pushing this with the backing of some people who have resigned. So it's not surprising, especially in the Nigerian political space, to see things like this happen. It's normal.
Interesting. It's really crazy how politics plays in Nigeria. It's such an interesting thing to see. Well, moving on to another state, we're seeing an explosion at illegal refining facility, killing one person and destroying houses in Kano State. Explosion at illegal refining facility kills one, destroys houses in Kano State. At least one person was feared dead yesterday following an explosion at an illegal refining facility. Used engine oil exploded at Katango area of Welari, located along Ring Road in Kano State. The explosion occurred at about 9:50 a.m., affecting 5 residential houses within the vicinity in the outskirts of the metropolis. Now, the operators were alleged to have employed hazardous processes to refine the used engine oil, which caught fire before concerned person from one petrol station, Kano State Fire Service, and officials from NEMA attempted to quench it after hours. Now, the dead body recovered from the debris at the illegal refinery by the emergency workers was identified as that of one Aminu. It was burnt beyond recognition. Now, another eyewitness, a personnel of VIO, said he was on duty along the Zaria Kaduna Road when he heard an explosion, which razed down houses close to the location. Now, he said he immediately called the attention of the Kano Fire Service and directed them to that particular location. The place, which is located in the midst of residential houses in Katango, is used to stock scraps of trucks and trailers, and also to refine used engine oil for other purposes. Now, at this point in time, you have to look at this issue of illegal refining facilities here in Nigeria, and just how bad and how hazardous they are, not just to civilians, not just to Nigerians who are living in that area. You're looking at climate change, you're looking at so many issues that are going to be affected by illegal refining, and you're looking at the fact that since it's illegal, then they might not even have all the necessary equipment to ensure that, okay, we're even doing this the right way, so that we're not causing environmental pollution, we're not harming Nigerians, because you see a lot of issues that are raised from, let's look at Oloibiri, for an example, right? We're looking at, it's not illegal, but it was something that wasn't done properly, and that's why we're having the fishes that died in the ocean, the sea, and all that. Exactly. It's making the place really, really messy for Nigerians, and at this point in time, we should look a lot more critically at some of these illegal refining facilities spread across Nigeria.
The issue of illegal refining refineries in the country is now becoming worrisome. It's the truth is, I don't have a problem with people refining petroleum products or or crude or anything they want to refine, but there are processes to getting licensed to refine this product, or even having a facility that can refine this product. And the truth is, I remember back then when we were having fuel crisis and all of that, I was part of the person that was pushing for more modular refineries in the country. But it is worrisome that some Nigerians do not even love themselves enough. They get to put themselves in harm's way by, doing this, getting involved in refining fuel or refining, petroleum product illegally. And this is one has even resulted to a death in Kano State. And of course, I think it's about time that, petroleum regulators, the federal government agencies involved in ensuring that they check this, move around oil producing states, and ensuring that any illegal refinery that's been found will be shut down. And of course, those involved in this will be prosecuted, because there are a lot of harm that this causes. Aside the harm to the individual, to the community that even hosts these facilities, and even to us as Nigerians, there is also an issue of this illegal refinery affecting the GDP of the country, because at the end of the day, fuel that should be or crude that should be exported, individuals are tapping into it illegally, and of course refining it. Some people even have where they have oil wells in their houses hidden. They build a house over it. People are not knowing what is happening in there. So I remember the investigation done by a former Arise TV reporter, who is now, I think she's now the head of media and communications in NNPC Limited. I can't remember her name, precise. You're looking at me as I'm saying NNPC Limited. She made a report, did an investigative report on what is happening in all these, illegal facilities. And when you see it, you cry for Nigeria. And that's why the amount of Nigeria the federal government loses to these illegal refiners and those doing bunkering is so much. These are funds that can be used for Nigeria. These are funds that can be channeled into critical infrastructure, health that is so poor that even our medical doctors are now going to Ghana and Togo instead of staying in the climate in Nigeria. So all of this is a problem for Nigeria, and I think this is a major challenge for the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration, and this is one thing they ought to find a lasting solution to.
Okay, we're checking out another headline. Don't forget you can join the conversation. We're live on YouTube. It is at VOP 961, and you can call us on 0700 010 961 961. I'll take that again, 0700 010 961 961. We're looking at scores missing as bandits kill 7 in fresh Benue attack. Scores missing as bandits kill 7 in fresh Benue attack. No fewer than 7 persons were reportedly killed on Sunday in a renewed attack by gunmen suspected to be Fulani herders in the local government area of Benue State. Now, the suspected armed herders were said to have attacked a commercial vehicle between Arufu and Chembe villages on Sunday and shot at passengers. The attackers were later reported to have invaded Nchia community in the night and killed 7 persons. Several others were reported to have been missing during the invasion. Now, a community leader, Anawa Joseph, spoke to newsmen on the telephone on Monday, explaining that the attackers laid ambush on the road and shot at a commercial vehicle between Arufu and Chembe villages. He said the armed Fulani herders, in collaboration with Jukun militias on Sunday, shot at a commercial vehicle heading to Loza, where some passengers suffered injury. They also invaded Inchia, where they slaughtered 8 people.
That's all I can say. We're still trying to grapple, with the effects and the pain that, the Plateau massacre still have on the individuals that have been affected and on Nigeria, so where over 200 persons were killed. I talked about the documentary being made, and of course the pain that those people will live by or live through or live with, the psychological trauma. We see people fleeing their communities. It is still in the same country where we've actually heard multiple reports of even bandits, collecting tax and levies from people so they can go to farm. And of course, when we see all of this and we hear reports of bandits attacking communities, and now they've actually taken their drama to Benue State, and we know before now it seems like Jos Plateau State is now the hotbed for bandit attacks. Before now, it used to be Benue State. I remember then during the administration of Samuel Otom, who was the former governor of the state. I remember when he used to have this back and forth with the former President Buhari. You know, and I remember him actually stating, because he was so confrontational with President Buhari at the time, you know, some of the allocation that should be coming to them wasn't coming to them, and all of that. So Benue State has always been a hotbed for marauding headsmen, even though I don't like using the name Fulani headsmen for them. So I don't categorize them as a particular tribe. But that being said, something ought to be done with this incessant killing, not just in Benue, not just in Plateau State, but across the country. Even in Enugu State, where we've actually had